Hello, Melton Guy here. Let's talk just a minute. I don't think this is going to be a very long podcast, but had something on mind. Matter of fact, the more I watch, I get very elated, and then I get so angry at some of the things I hear coming out of the Trump campaign, coming out from MAGA and Fox News. I want to talk about, for the most part, pettiness and how it fits in with what's going on in our country today. Pettiness, pure pettiness. You might call it childishness, but it's very, very petty for the most part. You know, I remember one of the worst thought campaigns in my lifetime was in 1960 between John F. Kennedy and Richard Milhous Nixon. Of course, Kennedy won it, but it was a hard fought campaign. And there were high emotions on both sides. But you know what? Nobody was fighting. Nobody was really lying. It was mudslinging, which is what they called it back then. But even in mudslinging, should be based in some part in truth. But today, that is beyond us. As I said in the last podcast, Donald Trump and the Republican Party, truth is their enemy. It's in their way. They avoid it at all cost. And they are capable of making up some of the most preposterous things, like Jesse Waters. You never know what's going to come out of this lying man's mouth. The Republicans' attacks against Kamala Harris, and I expect them to attack Kamala Harris. That's the way campaigns are run. But they are lying. Kamala Harris has been successful, big time successful, in everything she's ever done, and everybody that's known her in every place that she served in some kind of category had high respect for her. And they're talking about things that she did that she didn't do, things she should have done that she didn't do, that she did things she did do and was wrong. And then they're calling her the drug czar after she got to be vice president. That came from them. She was never meant to be the drug czar, but they are driving that in the ground. You know, you got to remember, Donald Trump, the one that's going to build a wall, he served for 4 years. And as far as people from Mexico and South America coming into this country, there was not a big slowdown, if any, and some say even more, under his presidency. And what happened to the wall? Oh, he had all kind of preposterous stories of how the Democrats had it taken down, you know, most of it taken down, that he had it mostly built, but Democrats came in and took it down. And if you believe that crap, then there's something wrong with you, whoever you that I'm talking to now happens to be. Republicans can attack Kamala Harris. They can attack Tim Walz. But some of the things that J.D. Vance is saying, like we're questioning, in my opinion, his sexuality, his relationship with his wife, that is way out of bounds. I mean, you know, we could bring up Donald Trump's every wife Donald Trump's had, that he cheated on every wife he had with the woman that he married the next time. So the first lady was in an adulterous affair with Donald Trump before they got married. Now, we could go on to talk about the Stormy Daniels issue, but I don't want to deal with it. I am talking about this pettiness right now that's taking place. Pettiness. And you know, in light of, there's children that go to bed hungry at night. And Kamala wants to fix that. She might not be able to, but as she's addressing that issue, she's talking about it. Education. Our educational system is so messed up, and the schools are in such disrepair. Unless you happen to live in a very rich side of town, then your school is great, as far as building is concerned. And the wars, which Donald Trump says are the fault of Joe Biden, and he could stop them one day, but they're out there. But let's talk about them. They are an issue. The pettiness in light of dictators with ambitious ideas all over this world. And Donald Trump wants their respect. And he respects them. He talks about what good men they are. The cost of drugs, absolutely ridiculous. What the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical industry is doing to the American people, especially among the elderly. Cancer patients treated in accordance with what kind of insurance they have or whether they have no insurance at all. Some go untreated. In the United States of America. And we're dealing with this pettiness out of the Republican Party right now. And diabetics, who many times have to settle for something less than is medically necessary. In light of these things, how can the Republican Party and Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, and all the other MAGA nuts out there, this great cult, how could they be so damn petty? They want to tell lies about Kamala Harris, but they want to say nothing about the issues pressing all of us. They won't talk about that. This speech that Donald Trump was supposed to have about the economy, I may be wrong. I listened to the whole thing, but I don't remember him saying anything about the economy. It was all a bunch of bullshit. It's like I said, Harris has been very successful in all the things she has done. And did she do everything right? Probably not. But she is a very respected person and a name that is well respected throughout this country among many people. Now, you know, the worst thing I think that we can say is bring up the idea that J.D. Vance, and well, all of them for that matter, are weird. Their policies are just weird. Maybe we shouldn't have said that. It's ridiculous that we can't use a word like weird. What's weird mean to you? But the fact is, that's just a nice way of referring to what is the Republican Party today. Weird. They should be proud. That's what we said. Weird. But we don't even need that, really. We certainly don't need sharks and batteries, whatever the hell that means. And we all watched the movie Silence of the Lambs, and we all liked it. Most part, it was a very successful movie. With the character Hannibal Lecter. I'm so tired of hearing about Hannibal Lecter. But Donald Trump said, oh, they don't know, it's just an analogy. Well, the problem there is at least half his base, which he counts on, could not define the word analogy. And the other half is asking themselves, what in the hell analogy is it? What does it mean? Let me know. If you ever heard the analogy explained. Otherwise, why is he talking about this stuff? We all know why, but we don't need it right now. And now Trump dealing with penis envy. I'm sorry. That was a mistake. Sorry, I mean crowd size envy. My mistake. I'm well versed in psychology. And there may be some connection to penis envy and crowd size envy. I don't know. But like I say, I'm well versed in psychology. But I have to grab an old textbook, drag it out, and find something to address this one. Whichever one it is, and I guess it's not penis envy. Dwelling on this crowd size. He knows why the crowd sizes are different. Address the issues, man. If you want to build your crowds up, tell us what you're going to do. Don't mention Hannibal Lecter. Don't mention a battery. Don't mention a shark. And don't mention the size of a crowd and lie and say you had the greatest crowd of anybody who spoke in front of a crowd. That's a lie. It's provable. As Tennessee Brando says, all the things that we say about Trump, we have receipts. It's on video, it's on tape, It's on audio. You know it, I know it, and as Bob Dole was famous for saying, the American people know it. All of this, all of the above, is a campaign of pettiness. Maybe I should change the name of my title, mentioning the penis envy and making a mistake. You know I meant the crowd size envy. But all of the above is a campaign of pettiness, and you know what? We can't afford it. In light of all the problems mentioned earlier, from hunger to medicines and all in between, we do not have time to listen to Trump and MAGA, scared to the bone, petty this country into a comedy atmosphere of asinine, ridiculous excuses of sorts for not being able to face the nation with plans and policies for the American people and the American people's future. So Kamala, Tim, keep it up. Keep it going. And continue to ignore their pettiness. Just do your job, President Harris and Vice President Waltz. Remember, your representatives also, if you're listening to this, and your senatorial races, they are very important. I need you to vote, or the Democratic Party needs you to vote Democratic. It is so important, like it has not been in any other time in our history. Let us all keep our eye on the goal and let the petty fall by the wayside. Let me remind you of my book, The Offspring of Ignorance, which you can find on Amazon by J. Melton Guy. And also my wife's book, Leaving Small Town. It's not political or anything like that. It's just a good book. A lot of people say so. It's on Amazon by Sue Guy. Please, if you don't buy mine, go buy hers. It's a very, very good book. Remember my podcast and what I'm trying to do. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and subscribe to all those people I mention every time. Tennessee Williams, Texas Paul, the Midas Touch Network, R.M. Elmer, Rachel Maddow, and there are others. But get out there and find them. And as I always say, go see what Fox is saying too. Listen to everything they say and compare, but research. And remember, my last word today is this: let the petty fall by the wayside. God bless you all, and I'll see you next time around.